on this week's episode of I-45 Confidential.
I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be the adult.
Nobody wants to do it.
No. I don't want to do it.
She thinks that if you got to pay less, the quality's less.
Sometimes that's true.
That is true.
And that's the problem. And that's exactly the problem.
I have cried many a nights, many a days going to work, many a days in my office. It's hard. It's very hard. And my brother, bless his heart, again, I know if he were closer, he would help.
You are about to witness a conversation, a confidential conversation between lifelong friends. For more than 3 decades, they've laughed, cried, yelled, danced, traveled, and learned together. They are experts in nothing, but experienced in life. Welcome to the conversation, and welcome to I-45 Confidential.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is Kim from I-45 Confidential. I am the social butterfly. Every friend group has one. I just happen to be the one. Their lives would be boring without me. Tonight, I have with me the pleasure of being with my friends, my sisters, my confidants.
Hey.
We have
girl, hey.
Mo.
Hey girl, hey. Hey girl, hey.
And then we have Elise, a.k.a. Roomie. So a lot of times I say my roommate.
Unapologetically Elise. I am rock steady and I'm ready, so let's go.
And we have the beautiful Roy Shell.
The friend who's least likely to call you back.
Exactly. Once again, every friend group has one. We are the core four.
What you got for us tonight?
We have
got
a
a
guest, Miss Marissa James. She's joining us tonight.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey, everybody.
And how do you fit into the friend group?
That's my cousin,
I'm the
y'all.
cousin.
This is Elise's
I'm
cousin.
the tag-along cousin.
Okay.
Yes, this is our cousin.
We also have the pleasure of recording at our house.
Yes.
The kind of house I would have if I were single and had no kids. Where everything is comfortable. All the chairs recline. That's my kind of house.
We're certainly happy that you are joining us tonight.
Why, thank you.
On our podcast.
I am happy to be here.
Thank you. Tonight we're going to be discussing parenting our parents. How do you parent your parent?
It's a tough subject.
It's a very tough subject. It brings tears. It brings laughter.
It's a lot of difficulty in that. It's a
A
struggle.
lot of difficulty in that, especially now we're
1-800
older.
choke that hoe. That's how I feel.
Well,
That's how I feel.
We're older, and if we're older, our parents are older.
Gen
and
X.
Yeah, Gen X.
Baby
And so
boomers.
We have boomers, and they're getting older.
we have to find a way to parent your parent in some ways while realizing that these people took care of us our whole lives. And now it's our turn to return it in kind in whatever form that comes. I think for a couple of us here, or a few of us here, we've lost at least one parent. Actually, all of us, except for you, Kim.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, we're seeing all of our friends having to take care of their parents in one way or another. And it's rough. It's rough for a lot of y'all.
Yeah, it is rough. Like I said, it comes with tears. It comes with laughter. But at the end, we all know that we are not alone. Some days we feel like we're alone. I know I do. I am not even going to lie. I feel like I'm alone most days. So yeah,
It's an emotional subject.
it's very emotional.
If you guys are in the house
I'm
tonight-
choked up.
Yeah.
I am crying because I don't want to do this. That's just the truth. I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be the adult.
Nobody
I don't
wants to
want to
do
take care
it.
of her. I don't want to do it.
I say to
But I
myself-
have to.
I say to myself, Mo, at least 6 times a day, I am the adult. I have a 74-year-old toddler. And I am the adult. I have to remind myself that, and I shouldn't call her a toddler, but her ways are like a toddler. And I have to remember that she can't help it. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean not to know what's going on, or I have to ask questions repeatedly.
But
She
my
doesn't
sister,
know
you
that.
didn't explain that your mom is also going through dementia.
She does have dementia.
So that's what you need
Yeah.
to express too.
She does have dementia, and I am the one who lives with her. I'm her primary caregiver. I have a brother, my brother Sean. Shout out to him, who he helps how he can. And
But he lives hundreds of miles away.
Yeah, he lives hundreds of miles away. I know that if he were closer, he definitely would do more. And I think that we handle it the best way we can. Yeah, we handle it the best way we can. So,
This is a very emotional subject for
yeah.
both of y'all. So my cousin Marissa's also going through something. She's been through something similar and about to head into another season with the parent that's left. And it's this is difficult. It's difficult. You want to talk on it, Marissa?
For me, going through this is hard because I'm also a nurse where I see it at work and then I have to come home and deal with it at home. So I don't get away from it. It's always there and I'm reminded all day, every day. Being a caregiver in a hospital in an acute care setting, it's different because I can go home after work. But being the primary caregiver for a parent that's aging, that's having health scares, or also I had to deal with dementia, it was a struggle. A lot of people outside of my life, outside of my family, had no idea what kind of a struggle it was. And I wish at the time I was able to talk about it and really verbalize how I was feeling, how exhausted I was. My coworkers had no clue. I would go home from a 12-hour shift and have to work another 6 hours and then go to sleep and go home and go back to work again. It's a struggle. And we all need to talk about it. And I don't think we talk about it enough to each other.
I think that it was so before we even knew that Auntie had dementia, well, you were the one who figured out what was going on with her because you live across the street from your parents. But you would recognize signs, whereas other people who don't know the signs to look for, it was probably more difficult for them in the beginning, not knowing what was going on with your parent and just being upset with them because they were acting like a bunch of whatever else.
Well, yeah, because it's something that it happened early on in my nursing career when my mom started having dementia. Early on. So I noticed the signs, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I knew something was different. When your mom's always one way and all of a sudden she's different, I'm like, what happened? Yeah. Something's different. But then going to work and then experiencing all over and over again, I came, wait, oh my goodness, this is what's happening. I didn't lean on anybody. I just kind of took it full force and just took over because that's what I did.
You know, what's interesting is we talking about taking care of them, but it really literally feels like taking care of a child again.
It is.
But the problem is they're not going to act like they don't know that they're a child.
They don't know what they're doing.
Like my mom will do something. She'll do something, and then I'm looking at her like, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Like, why do you?" Prime example. All week, people have been telling me, "I've been trying to call your mom. I can't reach your mom. What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know, because the phone is working. I have no idea." Monday, a cousin texted me and she said, "I'm trying to reach your mom. I can't reach your mom." And I don't know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I go look. And so every night my mom will take the phone from the den and take it into her room. She's gone to taking not just the receiver, but she's taking the base. So she's taking everything and taking it into her room and plugging it in. It's not going to work because the house, we have a landline, but the landline is connected to the modem. So she's checking and it's like, why are you doing that? It does not going to work if it's not plugged into the modem, and you have to plug it in. And I have said this all week, and all week she has done it. And it's like, why do you keep doing that? But I have to remember, I've actually gotten better about it, because before I was very frustrated. I was very angry. So I've gotten better. Now it's just, she just doesn't know. Like, I could tell her 100 times and she's trying, but.
What's interesting, when we were kids, I don't remember anybody ever talking about Alzheimer's.
No, they called it old timers, or they said they were senile. That was the thing.
One of the things that was different was back then, not a lot changed.
What do you mean?
You know what? Like, now we have cell phones. We have so many electronics.
Right.
Everything is different. On the regular on-off switch, it used to say on and off. Now it doesn't even say on and off. It has a 0 and a 1.
Symbol.
Yeah. And if you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is. So back then, for years and years, nothing ever really changed. So
do you think
really
they
notice.
just thought it was just people getting old? That's
People
just a part
just
of
getting
it.
old.
Part of getting old.
Yeah.
And everything, there weren't electronics, there weren't all this other stuff. Everything stayed the same. So they didn't really notice that, oh, mom couldn't use a telephone. They didn't have telephones back then, half the places. Or they didn't have electronics or computers, all this fancy Alexa stuff that
you have. And y'all know what? So people are getting this more and more in their homes. But Cuz has had this in her home for at least a decade.
Really?
At least a decade.
Yeah, I've had it for a while. But it's so hard because people have this in their houses. Like, they bring their parents into your home and all of a sudden they can't turn the light on.
Yeah. It happened tonight. We're trying to get Alexa to turn the light on.
It didn't work, I can tell you that.
She wasn't listening. She was being stubborn today, so we had to do the old-fashioned way.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off. But
I'm
when you're going through it, you think that you're the only one because you're by yourself. Initially, before my grandmother had dementia, so when this started happening with my mom, I knew something was going on. I knew there were some things that were happening, and I need to be very honest. My mom and I have never really had the best relationship. She's always had a better relationship with my brother, but of course he lives away from us, and I just happened to move back to San Antonio. So I just thought it was just a part of her being mean to me because we don't have a great relationship. But could have been that. Could have been. That could have been part of it, the fact that we don't have a good relationship. But it also could have been that dementia was coming on and we needed to stabilize that mood, which helps the mood. Sean is the one who said, I think she might need some mood stabilizers. Take her to the doctor and tell the doctor XYZ. And it's difficult when it's funny for me because it's like, and I'll say it quite often to myself too, who would have thought that I'd be the one taking care of her? Mm-hmm. Who would have thought? I couldn't wait to move out of her house and move into my grandparents' house at 18. Who would have thought that I would be the one taking care of her? But I am, and it's what it is.
Do you have funny moments?
Sure, we do. We have a lot of funny moments. We have, for every why are you doing that, it's a laugh. We have great times too, but yeah, sometimes unfortunately it's the why are you doing that moments that stick with you more. And
what's so funny that you mentioned that. I don't know what the hell is going on with my mom. I don't know what a diagnosis is or anything. I was born on her birthday. Super close. But the older she gets, sometimes I just don't like her anymore. And that's what hurts the most, is that she's very dismissive of certain things. Mm-hmm. Or how she responds. And you cannot use this excuse that people use once you get to be a certain age that you can speak to anybody any kind of way. You cannot do that. That's not right. And people think it's a rite of passage because when they tell you once you get to be 50, you really don't give a shit. You can say what the fuck you want to say. But once you're an older person, sometimes you don't realize some of the things that you say.
Oh, no.
It may not be what you meant.
No, they meant it.
But what you said.
They mean what they say.
Believe me, they mean
what they say.
Not only that, but I remember I told you about earlier. She knows to push her buttons because she put them there. She put the buttons there.
Ain't that the truth?
And she knows which ones they are, and she knows which ones to push.
That's true.
You know, and that's
okay.
Sad,
that was deep.
true.
That was a moment of truth.
True.
Also with dementia, I don't know if your mom has dementia, of course, right?
I think she's just batshit crazy.
I don't think
that's a diagnosis.
That is a diagnosis.
Thank
but I don't
you.
think
As a nurse in the house, is that official diagnosis?
Is batshit crazy a diagnosis nowadays?
I don't think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
There's
What's a technical
very
term? It's a
similar.
technical term. Just shit ass crazy. So it's either batshit crazy or shit ass crazy or just crazy for no damn reason at all.
And you feel like that, but I think like when I tell people, oh, my mom did this or did that, they're like looking at me like, what? Why would she say that? Dementia simply removes the filter.
Oh.
It removes the filter. And I've said this to my family before. It just removes the filter. And whatever you are at your core
Is who you really are.
You cannot hide it anymore because that dementia has removed that filter. My grandmother was sweet, quiet. My mama, even when she takes her medicine, it's still not sweet and quiet.
See, not so much.
Not so much.
I don't remember that with Auntie.
She was more so scared.
Okay. Yes, I've seen that with
She was scared.
Auntie Os.
Yeah.
We have that a lot.
Yeah.
Paranoid, very scared, very
Yes.
afraid,
Well,
very
yes.
afraid.
She was afraid because of back in when she was younger, her dad was not a very nice person. So he was not a very nice person to
You
all
revert
of
back.
all of his children. So
Yeah.
one of her sisters who's going through dementia right now, she lashes out. She's pretty aggressive. Still very nice, but she's aggressive. Versus my mom was very like
Timid and
very timid, more hide. I'm scared.
yeah, it's interesting because we've seen a lot of Alzheimer's and dementia in our families. It's disproportionate how many people are from Trinidad and Tobago end up. The women mostly with this Alzheimer's disease. It's crazy. It's in my family on both sides, and it's a lot.
You know what I remember you saying too about the reason that you take all the vitamins and stuff that you do now is to prepare yourself because it's in your family, and so you want to help prevent it for your kids.
Yep.
Because prevent it,
because you don't
postpone it.
Exactly, a delay.
Yeah,
you're right, a delay because you don't want your boys to have to go through.
No, because I've seen the caregivers, and people don't talk about this. The caregivers, it's you giving up a part of your life. And you have to steel your mind to what you're dealing with. I have only seen it. I've not had to deal with it on a daily basis, but I've seen it so much in my family that it can become debilitating for the caregivers.
You give up a lot.
Y'all check on your caregivers, whoever's taking care of mom and dad, even if it's a nursing home, you check up on it and you make sure they're.
And it's not always like dementia.
No.
You have health problems, but those that are the primary caregiver, you are giving up your life. And my kids will say, you're doing X, Y, Z. Why aren't you doing this and that? I can't. Every movement I make, I have to keep my mom in mind. From the moment I open my eyes until the moment I close my eyes at night, my mom is in the front of my brain.
Like your children.
I am constantly thinking about my mom. If I'm going to go somewhere, who can I get to watch her? Or is she going to be okay for so long? It's just a constant. So yeah, you're right. Caregivers give up a lot and people don't take that into consideration. I don't know if people don't take it into consideration. I think that people just don't think about it. You don't think about it. Oh, you just see somebody going to work every day and coming home and doing whatever. But for me, like I stopped going to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I haven't been in the gym and only God knows when. So I'm not as active with my business as I had been because I've given up a lot of that. I don't, of course, date. It's hard for me to date anyone. It's hard for me to do things because I have my mom. I don't travel.
Your whole life revolves around your mom and her moves.
My whole life revolves around my mom.
Let me ask you guys this. My mom, since I was very young, told me that the only thing she wanted me to do is not to put her in a nursing home. And so one of the things that I made sure that I did with my daughter is try to see if we can have that conversation in advance. Have you guys thought about having that conversation or thought about making arrangements just in case so you can make sure that your whatever your desires are met?
I have told my children that if they see, if I get dementia, whatever, any health problem, if they see that they cannot properly take care of me or that it's going to be a drain to put me in a nursing home, I do not want to, and I'm not saying my mom's a burden because I don't see her as a burden, but I don't want to be a burden on my children. I don't want them to feel responsible for taking care of me. And I'm okay with going into the nursing home. Now, they've told me that they're going to build a house in the back of their house and I could live there, but even still,
that's my plan.
Yeah, but even still, I don't want to be a burden on my kids, but I have had that conversation with my children. Yes.
But you've had the conversation. Have you taken, because I know like my mother-in-law, I think maybe I could be wrong. I think she has built into her will, like she's already taken care of those things. So her kids wouldn't have to be burdened with that, the financial aspect of it, because that's expensive.
It's very expensive. And I have not taken steps to do that. But what I have done, or what I am doing, is I write certain things for them, certain instructions, like this is how you take care of Social Security or Medicare or Medicare. This is who you need to call in case of whatever.
You have a book.
Power of attorney.
Y'all are so lucky. Let me tell you why you're lucky. My son's 12. You guys' kids are older.
Yeah.
It doesn't bob to me.
You just haven't gotten to that point in life yet.
Gotten there yet.
You know what I'm saying?
You just haven't gotten there yet.
I mean, because if I go, that's it for him. You know what I mean? So it's totally different. I respect you guys so much because you do have your children that are older that you can give instructions to.
Girl, that just means we were doing things when younger that we shouldn't have been doing. That's all.
No, that's not what the hell that means. Bitch, I had a baby at 40. Who fucking does that?
Who told you to do that?
Start me on that.
A lot of people are having kids at 40.
A lot
They
more.
are now. They
now,
are
and,
now.
and but are they having that conversation with
Right.
their spouses, and with their
Exactly.
children, with their
Because
family members?
That's a true conversation, right? That's a real conversation.
And it's a hard conversation because he doesn't want to hear about me. If mommy gets sick, mom, you're not going to get sick. I'm not super mom, but to him, a portion of me has superhero tendencies. I'm going to pass away one day, Brooklyn. I am. And so is your Gaia.
Listen,
You know
no
what I'm saying?
child is
But-
ever going to want to have that conversation. I don't care how old they are.
I understand
With your
that.
parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I get it.
I break
get
the
it.
spell with Sarah, my daughter. I break the spell because I let her know two things. So I told her every person, somebody had to have sex for them to be here. So
That
sex
is true.
So sex
That's
is not a
very
bad
true.
thing, and that we're only here for a certain amount of time. We live and we die, honey. It is not a thing we need to be afraid of or not talk about. Just because I talk about it doesn't mean anything. I said, but I want us to have an understanding, right? Especially now that the people who are above me, the baby boomers are starting to fade away.
Yep.
Their transitions, and she's seeing a lot of those in my aunts and my uncles and cousins and stuff, and she's seeing it in a different way. And so we have to have that conversation. We have to have it.
Now I've had conversations, but also I've had conversations, like I've given specific instructions for my funeral. They think I'm playing when I say, that I'll fly away, but
Sing it.
remixed. No, ma'am.
Remix?
Remixed with the Louisiana bounce. They think I'm playing when I say,
What the
let the
hell?
people get up and speak. However, you get 2 minutes. And if I didn't like you, they are to get up. One of them is to get up, AKA Callie. One of them. Callie is to get up and tell the people to sit down. My mama didn't like you anyway. They have specific instructions. I have a DJ. I have a playlist. I have a funeral playlist.
oh Lord.
Yeah. I've
That's
talked
a
to them
lot of
about stuff like
preparation.
that. I've talked to them about things like that. I have a good friend. She's a DJ. And yeah, Kobe's supposed to get up and say, DJ, drop that beat. And she's supposed to drop the beat. Yeah, for real, for real.
Okay.
Guess what? A plan is a plan.
I'm just saying, we've had a conversation like that, but yeah.
And what do you want to be big? And guys, we're turning on the conversation now.
Well,
We are.
no,
We come back to it.
We're coming
However-
on that kind of conversation where we're the sandwich generation. We're the ones in between. We're taking care of them, and we're taking care of
Yeah.
the elders and the youngers.
True.
We're in the
Because
middle.
you know what? I'm glad you said that because
That's a whole
when my
different kind
mom
of stress.
my mom gets older, then you have to think about, okay, am I going to have the one to make funeral arrangements? Will I have to do all this extra stuff? What happens with her stuff? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? Because I remember when my dad passed away, my mom, she was totally blown away. She had no recognition of anything. I had to take care of everything, and I wasn't prepared.
You're never
But I had to
prepared.
do it.
You're never prepared.
But I had to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though I knew my dad was sick, sometimes people would think if your parent is ill, that's when you should start preparing. But I wasn't thinking that way.
I made arrangements for both my mother and my father before the day came.
Yeah.
Because I knew both of them had prolonged illnesses. And matter of fact, my dad, I asked him to borrow money to put money down on it. He had an argument about it.
Y'all you did a funeral on layaway.
You don't got no money. Where your money at?
You can.
I said, Daddy, I just
You
need,
will not tell me that you can put a funeral
Yeah,
on
You
layaway.
can.
Yes, you
you go
can.
and you pay for
Oh,
it.
no, you
Yeah,
can.
You start paying. You make payments on it. You make
Yep.
arrangements so you don't have to pay so much at the end.
Yep.
I'm going to be
You can.
quiet
Because that
You
stuff
can.
is
because I did not know
It's
that.
expensive.
And you-
expensive.
and you
And,
know
to
what?
and,
You know
and to answer your question, Elise, I want to be cremated.
Okay.
Okay. It's interesting because I'm cross-cultural. And so I had to have a conversation with my husband about that. Because
Explain the cross cultural.
my husband is Muslim. And my family is Southern Baptist. Okay. And all of our families located in the same vicinity in the same place. And I told him that's where I want to be. And he says, no, I want you to be with me. But where you going to be? Because I'm not sure if I...
You know where he's gonna-
All I know is I had a conversation with my daughter. And I said, look, whatever happened, this is what I'm going to need you to do.
You need to put it down.
I'm going to have to write it down. But I made
Get
sure
a lawyer.
You're going to be with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my family, girl, that fight,
Ooh.
that fight,
Where's he from?
Tunisia, North Africa.
So from spring to Tunisia, dragging back and forth.
So I have a question. And this is, it involves self-care. How do you as a caregiver, how do you get self-care, or do you do self-care? Do you,
need
Marissa?
to do self-care.
Right. Okay.
It has to be done. If you don't, it's going to eat you up.
Yeah, but where do you, I have a story about I was living in Paris and we found out my mom had a stroke. And so I came home and she was in a rehabilitation center. And at that one point they said, okay, she's going to get ready to go home. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go home with her. I remember getting up that morning and found out she had peed in the bed. And so I have to get her up, but she's disoriented. She doesn't really know what's going on. While I'm getting her up, my daughter's gotten up and she was probably about 5 or 6 and she's hungry. And so she decides that she's going to go pour herself some milk and some cereal by herself. Then that spills. So then I run in there to help her. While I'm running in to help her, my mom is screaming my name at the top of her lungs because she says she needs to go to the bathroom. But she was already in the bathroom. And that whole day I didn't shower that day. I didn't eat that day at all. And I don't know how people do it. I don't.
Luckily, right now for me, my mom is still up. She's still up. She does everything on her own. Everything. She is just, as you spoke about your mom being a fearful, mine is fearful as well. So she can't stay by herself during the day or at night. So luckily for me, I don't have that I don't have to do that. But you are right. It's very hard to do. It's hard to do.
Mine was a wanderer.
Oh God. Wow. Oh my God, please.
Oh yeah, tell the stories. She was a wanderer, so she would just get up and walk out the door.
Oh my God, please.
One time she got up and walked, and she doesn't walk very fast, but she walks fast enough for someone.
If you're not behind her.
Yeah, she walks fast. She did that one time, and we found her. The next time, she would always wear a jacket because she was always cold. My dad just slipped her phone in her pocket, and we can watch her on Life 360.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We just track her. One time, she got out. And we're like, okay, fine. She got the phone in her pocket. The little dot started moving fast.
She got in somebody's car?
Yes.
What?
She got in someone's car. That little dot on Treshwig at the time just going fast. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world? I walked outside. I said, what? Oh my God. A friend from high school recognized her, picked her up, and drove her home.
Oh, wow.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
Would you believe she got out again later that night?
Where did she think she was going?
She was going to the nurse's station.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
She was a nurse. So she was always going to the nurse's station.
But what's so funny, you guys remember that lady's name? I forgot her name. B. Smith? Was it B?
Yeah, B. Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And she was gone for she walked out the door and they couldn't find her.
Yeah.
Because she had dementia and some other things very popular woman. If you guys
She's a
haven't
restaurateur,
heard of her.
right?
Yeah, restaurateur.
Okay, yeah.
Cook
But you
stuff.
remember at the end when her husband
Had the other lady move in.
Yeah, move in. And
Yeah.
But they had already had that conversation that she said, hey, you're going to have to go ahead and live your life.
But
I don't think she meant it that quick.
She said that, dementia or not, she didn't mean it.
Now, I'm like, wait a minute. She stay here too? Wait a minute. No, that's not what we talked about.
We haven't had the wandering. My grandmother wandered out one night, and she wandered out. We had gone to our home. At the time, we lived on the other side of town, my ex-husband and I. And we had gone to the house to get some clothes, and we left the kids at the house with my grandmother and my mother. And when we got back, I saw flashing lights. And I'm like, dang, I wonder what happened on the street. Get closer, and I'm like, holy shit. It's the cop. They're at our house. It's 2 cars. Lights are on. I get there, and it's a young black officer, and he's bent over, and he's visibly upset. And I'm like, what's going on? And he said, I almost shot the little girl in the house. What? So now I'm in a panic. I'm getting in the house, and my grandmother, bless her heart, she had gotten out of the house, went to my aunt and uncle who lived a few doors down, and told them that, I can laugh about it now, told them that some people had broken in the house, tied up my mom tied her up and the kids up. She escaped, and they killed my mom. My aunt, my uncle called the police. And so Callie was a little girl, being Callie. She was probably about 6 or 7 then. walking through the house, she sees the door open. And so she's going to close it. And she went to close it at the same time the officer was coming up with his gun, hand on his weapon. And when she went to close it, she startled him. Because I guess she pulled it and then closed it. Anyway, she startled him. And they startled each other. And he almost shot her. He almost shot her. I can laugh about it now.
No, it's nothing to laugh about it even now.
To me, it's funny. Now to me, it's funny. I know maybe it's just the way I process the.
I was going to say, you morbid as hell.
You're crazy.
You're morbid as hell.
No, because and Callie has told me I do remember that. Like, Mom, I remember that. I can remember that. Yeah. So we don't. Thank God, I don't have a wonder. But then at the same time, we also have the deadbolt that you do with the key on both sides. So if I have to lock her in. Because Callie told me one day, just lock her in the house. She'll be all right.
No,
I'm not locking this lady in the house.
It's not just scary. It's unnerving. Yes, my cousin has this. Okay, we're going to put her phone in her pocket, blah, blah, blah. But they came up to Dallas one day for something. And my aunt really wanted to go outside. But y'all, if you've ever been to my old house or my house, the front door's on the side of the house. And it's behind a gate. So it was raining that night. And she just wanted to get out. And she walked outside so many times, just confused, and it's raining and she just wants to leave. And it took hours. It took hours to get her to relax, lay down. I think I did it that night.
You did.
Yeah, because they needed a break. And it took hours to get her laid down, just to come in the house and lay down.
But also, too, her routine was broken.
Her routine was severely broken.
Yeah.
That happens with when the routines are broken. So
I have a question. When did you realize that your parent was a person? Can you remember that time or that moment where you realized they were not just your parents, but they were actually people?
I do, but I can't really talk about it. So I'll go ahead and pass that baton. But my mother was a magnificent person. She was.
My mama nasty. That's when I realized that she was a person.
What does that mean?
What that means is once I was able to have adult conversations that I would have with y'all, with her, then I realized she was a person. She wasn't just my mom anymore because I could talk to her and I could say certain things. Or
You mean like you could curse in front of her?
not just that, but to even make jokes. And when they say something like, she swallowed it, she gets it. And it's funny. But I wouldn't have dared done that before until I realized that she was a person.
I never did that to my mom at any time, in any place, ever in her entire life.
Some mamas are different, and your mama was different.
Yes.
I don't think I still don't see my mom as a person. I see her as my mom. I don't see her as a person. I see her still as my mom.
Maybe, no, it's not that you don't see them as your mother. I think it's more so that you realize that, okay, she's human. She's done human things, and humans are not perfect. But maybe you never saw your mom as perfect. I used to think my mom was perfect for the most part. Yeah.
I don't know.
I've
I
always
can
thought
honestly
about
say that.
Elisa's mom as a person. Yes, she was Elisa's mom, but to me, she was always a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, she and I had a different kind of conversation than maybe her and somebody else. And
She was
so-
your friend.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, but see, I have this thing about, I tell my daughter all the time, one thing I will never be is your friend.
Yeah, I've never been friends with my mom.
And my mom was my friend either. And so there was always, and there still is, like this separation of things. Even with my aunts and stuff like that, there's certain things we can't talk about. We ain't gonna never talk about.
Listen, I want my children to be able to talk to me about anything. And trust me, there have been cringe moments.
I've said the same thing.
But you know what? You can't know your kid until you know your kid.
True.
And you have to leave. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is for me personally. This is just my parenting. My kids are 23 and 28 now. But there's nothing they can't talk to me about.
My daughter can talk about me anything, but I had to let her know that
Say it again?
She can
Talked about me anything. That's what you said. We all heard you.
talked about me
Talked
within
about me about the
Okay. My daughter can talk to me about anything, but I need her to know that no matter what she talks about, I can only respond as her mother. Do you know what I mean?
I get it. I get that.
Can't, there's no way I can be like,
Understood.
I'm always going to look at, I told her that my job is, I have a job to make sure you're happy, healthy, and safe. And those three things are the only three, I can't not do anything about that.
And can I tell you why y'all are so lucky? Again, I'm dealing with a totally different generation. So there are certain things that I have to be more blunt about with him.
Yeah, because they can look it up.
Yeah.
Because they can Google it.
They'll Google it in a minute. He'd be like, Mama, what? You ain't have to lie. That's not what the people said. No, but seriously, it's totally different. So when I talk to him about things, I have to be more blunt than what it was with me. You know, does that make sense?
Different world, different
sense.
environment.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
And
totally
he's a
different.
boy. Girls are
That too.
Yeah, I have a good little girl, and it's just you know,
She's not a little girl.
She's not. And quit saying
God.
that.
You gotta stop saying that.
she's 20.
Exactly.
You can say that. I
She's
say
still-
Kobe is still my baby.
She's still my baby.
Yeah, I
She
say
can be
my
your
baby.
My
Yeah.
little boy. When I call him, I don't want to say what I say when I call him because Callie and I make fun of him, but he's 25. He's still my little
Yes, he's
boy.
still your baby.
Still my little boy.
No,
Still my
it's not.
bubble.
That's your baby.
Stupid little boys do. I love y'all. Not so
Disclaimer.
much. Not so much my oldest, but the youngest will call me for. I'm like, you have Google.
Yeah.
My
What-
baby.
What do you put? Mom, I have. He calls just yesterday. I have an adult. I need an adult for this. I'm like, you're 23. What do you mean? You didn't know what the question was about? Yogurt. Okay. I am not lying. So I'm taught my kids
Did you
to be
say yogurt?
Yogurt. I've taught them to be economical. So he has a limited budget, working 1 day a week. He usually buys the big thing of Greek yogurt, right? He said, so Mom, so should I'm going to take my lunch tomorrow. Should I just buy the individual or should I just buy the big one? And I was like, I have work to do. I have things to do. Make the best decision for you.
My daughter says I'm cheap because I want to buy everything on sale.
Yeah.
That's no, honey.
Teach them to be frugal.
Yeah, but she's not,
When shit hits the fan, they're going to know how to survive.
she thinks that if you got to pay less, the quality's less.
Sometimes that's true.
That is true.
and that's the problem. And that's exactly the problem.
Oh, sometimes that's not true.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's true. Yes.
Sometimes.
But my daughter's on the autism spectrum, and she's black and white. It either is true, either
Or
it's
it's
cheap, or it's not. And so she's convinced that anything you buy on sale is because nobody wanted it. It don't work.
My dad's the same way.
Really?
Yes. And Auntie Glenn.
Yeah.
She's the same way.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they're products of Auntie Elaine.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is the dopest conversation I think we've had in a minute. For it to be so serious, yet enlightening, yet informational. I appreciate sharing my tears.
Share your tears.
We
all have them.
All have them. I want to talk to Melissa.
Who's Melissa?
Yeah,
sorry,
who is
It's
Melissa?
my cousin
Tongue, the teeth, the
Marissa.
lips.
But you've known her almost as long as you've known me.
Yeah. Marissa, you're going through something that I've already been through. And when I heard about your plight,
Yep.
Would you like to share, Marissa? You don't have to. Okay.
Not this one.
It's still new.
it's
It's
fresh.
still very new.
fresh. Yeah, yeah. And it's the kind of club that nobody wants to join.
No, I don't
Yeah.
want to be in this club.
Nobody wants to be in this club.
And it's a hard club. And the worst part about it is I know all too well about it.
Yeah, because
I work in it.
healthcare.
I see it all the time. And I feel like I know what's going to happen before it actually happens. The same with my mom. I knew it was happening before it happened.
So then it goes back to that self-care question. What do you do? What do you do
Not enough.
to take care of you?
I mean, she got furniture that lay back, and
And the dopest bed.
And a massage chair.
You know what? I think after my mom passed, I was okay for a while. And then I got all of this stuff in this house. This is a lot of stuff. I went off the deep end. I went really far off the deep
She
end.
likes to shop, guys.
Yeah.
I like to eat and drink some wine. She shops.
yeah, but
I have a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have.
but good stuff. I mean,
I use all my stuff. That's the thing. Some of it not enough.
Hold on. Let's talk about what you said, what you bought today. Because I sat right here. You were at the door. Tell them what it was.
I didn't buy anything today.
No, you didn't buy anything. You were telling me what a not smart purchase that was. Right by the door.
What did I buy?
And when you get your mail, what do?
Oh my God. Yes. So I bought an electric envelope opener.
Who needs that?
Nobody needs that.
Old people need it.
I'm done.
She's not old people.
I'm done.
No, I had a really bad shopping problem.
Yeah.
And that's how my grief manifested in a shopping problem. I have a pool in the backyard.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, yes, you do.
But it's really nice.
It's really nice. I do use it.
is nice.
I love it.
You have a whole craft room too.
I have a huge craft room with a lot of equipment.
A lot
Yeah, a
of
lot,
equipment.
a lot.
Crafters would be envious.
Yes.
And I got a nice little car in the garage.
It's a beautiful car.
It is. I saw it today and I was like, oh, okay, girl.
And you know what? I gave away my other car. I just gave it away. It's like, here, Cadence. Here's my car.
So that's how you
I
dealt
bought
with your grief, but how do you take care of yourself? Aside from buying stuff, do you pamper yourself? Do you read?
No,
What do you
I
do?
didn't.
Meditate?
I went ugly. I went ugly and fat.
Stop it.
You've never been ugly.
I gained 30 pounds.
You're going through menopause like the rest
I've
of
never
us.
seen you fat either.
Yeah, you're
I've gained
Fat
30
is
pounds.
relative.
I went up to 190 pounds. I started before all this
God.
stuff. I was at like 135. I got all the way up to 190.
Did you say 190 pounds American?
That's my goal weight.
Well, that's what I'm trying to. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I know.
But when you've been 130
Yes.
pounds
Yes.
for 15, 20 years, all
you
of
know
a
what
sudden,
you
like,
were? Yeah.
boom.
In my mind, okay.
I was a stick for a long time. And then
You were never a stick because you always had curves. You always
I
had.
was a curvy stick.
Okay.
It's a curvy.
It's our favorite kind of sticks.
Yeah.
I hope that
But what did I
you
do?
take care of yourself. Literally take care of yourself.
I bought a massage chair. So
Yeah, it is nice.
The best.
It's nice.
I bought a massage chair. I was like, okay.
No, that's the kind at the chiropractic office massage chair.
Yeah. I did shop responsibly, yet poorly. At the same time.
Is that a word? Poorly.
poorly?
But you do.
But I did like my furniture. I relaxed. I watched TV.
You also like to travel.
I did travel.
Okay.
Yep.
I went on a couple trips. I spent a lot of time with my nephews. I spent a lot of time with my family.
And your niece.
And my niece, I spent a ton of time with her, driving back and forth I-45.
That's right. Because we've had a lot of conversations up and down 45 as well.
Yep.
And it was a lot of her coming there.
confidential conversation.
Yeah.
You know, well, I cope with food. I don't know if we had that conversation about. So I had a weight loss surgery. I had the gastric sleeve, and so they made my stomach really small, so I wasn't hungry all the time, and I had lost the weight. And I was actually with you guys at Elise's house. We were at your sister's house, and there was some popcorn.
Oh, that popcorn is in there now?
Yeah, and then Lisa said, "You want some?"
Boom.
I said, "No."
Chicka pop.
I said, "No, I don't want any." And then they just kept. I said, "I'm not hungry." It was like a Pandora's box.
That's how it gets everybody.
Literally opened up, and it was the only thing that would soothe me, which is I realized I have an oral fetish, and that sounds really
I
kind
have
of
oral fixation.
No, I do too.
Yeah, I like the feeling of it just in my mouth, and the popcorn was a constant, and it was light enough to where my stomach wouldn't fill all the time, and it was just, and I slowly started to gain the weight.
So that's what it was? That popcorn?
It was that, and I found that I had at the 99-cent only store.
Oh.
I bought it in the case.
Shit.
Yes, I did. I would hide it in my closet so my daughter wouldn't see it because they would tell me you need to eat food, and I was like, I'm fine.
That's all you eating was that popcorn?
I didn't eat anything but popcorn.
May I
See that popcorn.
That popcorn. Mhm.
You want some? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay. It's like
No.
crack.
No. I want to say this, and y'all don't have to answer. I asked, how do you take care of yourself? Not how you cope.
Yeah.
Or not how you grieve. How do you take care of yourself? And if you notice,
Yep.
there was no, I take care of myself this way, that way.
right
And
about
and
that.
I think that so many people, even listeners, don't take care of themselves because I don't think that we often think that we need to take care of ourselves. We are just in I think a lot of times we feel like we're designed to take care of others. I don't want y'all to answer, but you're coping. We can't cope. You have to take care of yourself.
I can answer that question. I didn't.
It's too late.
I didn't until
It's too late.
I did.
You've already answered. You gave your answer.
So I did
You
for a little bit, and then I
shopaholic, you.
just stopped.
Okay.
I really just, like last year, I just stopped everything. I did not take care of myself. I gained a ton of weight. I was mad bitchy all the time. I just didn't go anywhere. I stopped exercising. I stopped everything. I sat on this couch all the time. If I was not on the couch, I stopped sewing. I stopped doing everything. I stopped.
So then-
And you know what? It was a couple months ago, maybe I came here, and her last visit when I saw her, you had put on more weight than I've ever seen you. I've never seen you that, and you're not fat.
I'm not fat. Yeah.
So you just got curvier, and I could just tell you look tired, like something was wrong. And I told my sister, I'm like, next time I go down, I'm going to talk to Cuz and see what's going on. And I did, and you just said you were tired. I was like, are you okay? I asked you that. I said, because I know people don't ask people, are you okay? How are you doing? And you needed that question.
And you know what? That actually turned me into self-help. I started taking care of myself. What did I start doing? I had issues. I had hormone issues. Come to find out, after she said that, I'm like, I really need to look. What is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm like, had to think about it. Yes, there's a lot wrong with me. I went to the doctor. I got put on some medication to help with, because I was having hot flashes. I was miserable. It was freezing in here and I was still hot. I got blood work taken and they're like, oh my God, your vitamin D level's really low. Oh, I didn't know that.
All these things happen with menopause.
Yeah, I didn't know. And I was just thinking, oh, this is just, I'm getting older. I'm still upset about my mom passing. I'm still not completely over it. I just thought all of that was that. And no, it wasn't. I wasn't taking care of myself at all. And that's when I realized I need to take care of myself. My health, my cholesterol's through the roof now. Wow. It's high. It's 260 something. It's high. All my other levels.
In nurse speak, what does that mean? 2 something is what's normal level?
Normal total cholesterol is below 200. I am at 260, and I'm someone that exercises, eats fairly okay. But all last year I did not at all.
And
So-
1 year can take you out.
Yeah,
okay.
1 year can
A
take
few
you.
months can take you out.
sure.
It can
That's
take you
it,
all the
yeah.
way down. Now I'm pre-diabetic. I have high cholesterol, low vitamin D. I have everything wrong. Just that's how self-care, you have to take care of yourself.
So then I would encourage you this go round not to lose yourself, being a caregiver, to take care of yourself.
I think more of us are
And
aware now.
I also encourage our listeners, anyone, you're not alone. Trust me, you're not. It may feel like it. You may feel like you're just wandering by yourself, but you're not alone. So I encourage you to take care of yourself. As I say this as a person who does not do self-care.
This go around, I'm really thinking about, I feel like I started on trying to take care of myself and then I was dealt this blow. It was a hard blow.
Yeah.
But I know what to do this go around.
This go around, yeah.
And I'm leaning on more people. I'm not taking it on all myself.
See, that's something too that we don't do. We don't lean on people.
Yeah.
I know I don't ask for help. I barely, when we do things, I barely want to ask anybody to help me ever.
That's a problem. And more, I wasn't aware of this. One of my aunts took care of my grandparents for many years, and I did not realize at some point that she had a breakdown. I just heard about it years after the fact. This is on the other side of my family, and it can become debilitating. You have got to take care of yourself.
I
one way or
won't
another.
lie. You do feel like you're going to lose it. You do feel like you're going to fall apart.
What's
You
interesting,
do.
when my mother had her stroke, the major stroke she had, I was in a different country. And there's a little bit of talk about me moving back, and I wanted to move back and take care of my mom. My mom's sister said something to me. She says, you're not a caretaker at heart. She says, let me take care of my sister, my youngest sister, because you don't have a caretaker's heart. When she said it, it really hurt my feelings. But I understood what she meant.
But it doesn't mean, Johnny, listen, right now you are the friend that Moretta needs. Okay? Because you're going to do things for her that I'm not going to do. You are the friend that she needs, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a very caring person. You're a very loving person. Yours just shows up in different ways.
Yes.
You might not be the day-to-day caretaker, but you were there when people need you. Yeah. And you showed up for your mom as well. Just not how some other people might do it. Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Because again, you're not the only person that doesn't have a quote unquote caretaker's heart. You're not.
And I was lucky enough
not alone
to have my aunt want to take care of her sister, even though it didn't work out the way we really wanted it to. Because family, it's a whole bunch of things. You know, things happen, but that I was lucky enough to even have someone who did it.
Yeah,
because that kind of, it literally would have taken me out. She said, live your life. I was in a different country. I had a small child. She says, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And, I don't thank her enough for that. Yeah. No matter what happened after that, the fact that she took it on, for money or not, it's still a thing you have to do.
Yeah. Because it's hard, baby. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. Mm-hmm. I have cried many a nights, many a days going to work, many a days in my office. It's hard. It's very hard. And my brother, bless his heart, again, I know if he were closer, he would help. I don't talk to him the way I probably should talk to him. And I don't talk to him about certain things because I don't want to weigh him down, burden him.
That's that older sister thing though.
Right. I don't want him, because to him, to me, I think he's probably seen my mom as a superhero more so than me. And I don't want him to, because they have a different relationship than she and I do or did. And so I don't go to him and I don't tell him certain things. And he said, you can tell me whatever, blah, blah. But it's just, I don't want to burden him with that. So I keep those things to myself. And at one point, I felt I was becoming resentful of people.
Were you ever resentful of your brother? Honestly.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Because
unfairly,
I'm home and not just my brother, my kids too. And it's not their place to give me a break, but I felt like there were times where I felt like somebody just give me a fucking break.
Damn, what about me?
Yeah. God damn it. Somebody just say, hey, we got this. Why don't you go visit your friends? Because I have friends, but my close friends, I have a close friend. I have a couple of close friends in San Antonio, but everybody lives this way. My family, my cousins, my dad, my friends, everybody is this way in Houston. No one's saying, hey, why don't you go visit?
I'll take over for today.
Right. I got it. Don't worry about it. And sadly, it's just me and my mom in San Antonio. We'll have a cousin there, but cousins there. But it's just, to me, it's just really me and my mom. Yeah, we're the only ones there.
Listeners, I would encourage you, if you know someone who's a caretaker, give them a day off. Give them an afternoon off. Call them, ask them, let me, bring some food. And I know you feel like you're being a burden or you feel like we need that. And people they're not going to ask for help. They're just not going to ask.
Because I am that person. I'm not going to ask you for any kind of help. I'm just going to do it and keep it moving.
But as a caregiver, we're going to have to ask.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be strong for everybody. We're not going to ask. I can tell you that right now. We're going to have to ask.
Yeah.
Good chat, girls. Good chat.
Yeah. So again, listeners, if you are a caregiver and you ain't in it by yourself, baby, you ain't in it by yourself. Tell us how you feel about being a caregiver. Do you need help? And what is your self-care, baby? Are you taking care of yourself? Let us know.
Leave your comments. Please remember to
like and subscribe
and share.
Sure. And it was an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys and have a conversation, like we always do, intimate conversation between friends.
And Miss Marissa, thank you so much for your hospitality, your conversation, and your input.
And also, let me say this, listeners, please, this is a genuine conversation between genuine friends, longtime friends. Sometimes we stray from the topic, but you stick with us. We'll get back to it.
Eventually.
Sooner or later.
We have come to the end of our conversation. We certainly thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again. Always remember that the journey of friendship is built on a path of loyalty, acceptance, and grace.